how are you doing? This is Pastor Cheryl. I was debating on this particular scripture today, whether or not to skip it, but maybe it needs to be said. This is a section on adultery. Okay, there you go. This is Matthew. This is Matthew. Now, if you notice, this section here, which is Matthew, doesn't have as much in it as Mark, except up here, that is Matthew. Some of his stuff is controversial, and perhaps it needs to be said, because there are some things in here that are metaphors that are not meant to be taken literally. Okay, Matthew 5:27 through 30. You know it's coming. Okay, you have heard that it was said, you shall not commit adultery. But I say to you, everyone who looks at a woman lustfully has already committed adultery with her in his heart. If your right eye causes you to sin, pluck it out, throw it away. It is better for you to lose one of your members than that of your whole body be thrown into hell. And if your right hand causes you to sin, cut it off and throw it away. It is better you lose one of your members than your whole body go into hell. Then it continues. This is 18:8 through 9. And if your hand or foot causes you to sin, cut it off, throw it from you. It is better for it to enter life maimed or lame than the 2 hands and 2 feet be thrown into eternal fire. Now there's a big gap here. You see this big gap? Okay. And if your eye causes you to sin, pluck it out and throw it from you. It is better for you to enter to life with your eye than 2 eyes to be thrown into the fire. Now Mark says, Mark says 9:43 for 48. And if your hand, and then there's a gap here again, causes you to sin, cut it off. It is better for you to enter life maimed than with 2 hands to go to hell, unquenchable fire. And if your foot causes you to sin, it's pretty much the same word for word. There are some gaps. And so anyway, here, and it ends with the 1 eye, better 2 eyes thrown into hell, where their worm does not die and the fire is not quenched. Worms. Okay. Now we do know that these are, and undergrad, we had this very gentle priest that he said he wanted us all to see this, and he said, I don't want to hear of any of you cutting off your hands or plucking out your eyes. This is why we're reading this. He said this is a metaphor. It's not literal. It's a metaphor. Okay? It's not literal. And so, you know, for example, let's say my dad liked to hang out with this lawyer, and on Friday nights they would go to this bar. It was kind of a family bar, eat popcorn and watch TV. It was a great big TV over the whole wall. Great big TV. And that was their night out. They would eat popcorn and watch TV. They might have a little beer with that. We didn't see a problem with that. Dad was really not a drinker. This is just his night out. But what if someone has a drinking buddy, and they go out and they're working together. These are 2 guys working together, and they have a drinking buddy. And the drinking buddy is leading this other guy astray and causing problems. Well, you know then that he should just cut that friendship relationship short. You would know that. You would know that. And so I think this is a metaphor, and then this internalized comment about if a man sees a pretty woman and lusts for her in his mind, that's an internalized sort of thing. Back then, they were very strict. Today, we probably wouldn't think anything of it. Guys do this all the time. They see a pretty lady and they go, "Oh, isn't she attractive?" I wouldn't think anything of it. But back then, they would. Back then, they were very strict. Okay? And so, this is metaphorical, and these are internalized comments. Here, I have little notes all through here, and it says not to be taken seriously. Okay, so this is a metaphor. So let's say you have a friend who is messing you up. And you know, if you, let's say, have a friend who is an alcoholic, they always drag you down. They never pick you up. They drag you down with them. So, you know, just to cut those friendships off. You know, there are better things to do, other people to hang out with. You know that. It's a given. And so, anyway, tomorrow we will be going through a section on divorce. Look at all the gaps here. But Matthew's got most of the words. So Matthew borrowed from Q and filled in the gaps. And so tomorrow we will go through this section on divorce. And so I hope you had a nice 4th of July. And I'm going to say it's very strange. We used to go to the fireworks and watch them. And used to go there and watch them overhead and go, ooh, you know. And now we sit out in the back picnic table and we watch the kids in the neighborhood shoot off their fireworks. And it's all over the place. You know, bang, crash, bang, bang, bang. Okay. And so, and then I had a friend who stopped in from Pennsylvania, drove here several days, and only stayed 2 days. Took off. He's going to see his brother in Montana. And he likes to paint. And he's always driving around town looking for some scene. And he loves the town. Yeah, we do have some pretty spots. We really do have some pretty spots. And so, anyway, we will see you tomorrow. Bye-bye.